First up in the news, Asmongold has once again found himself at the center of a massive online debate after going on a brutal rant about the culture Twitch has created over the years. The discussion started while Asmongold was reacting to broader conversations happening online around politics, internet personalities, performative behavior, and how creators interact with audiences on modern streaming platforms, sharing in the following.
Authentic, yeah, and I think people want that. But the thing is that on Twitch has created and they've manufactured a community of people that are trying really hard to be politically correct. And I think that in the process of that, they've created a community of losers. They've created a community of virtue signalers, fake personalities, performative gestures, cosmetic opinions, and just in general, fakery, right? And this is the reason why, like, I've got no problem collabing with, like, guys on YouTube or guys on you know, Kick or guys anywhere else. But, like, I really am, like, racist against Twitch streamers. It's basically about it. I'm racist against them. And I think that the racism is justified, as, you know, obviously it is.
Supporters argued Twitch absolutely encourages performative behavior, especially around social issues, platform politics, and creator branding. Many viewers claimed creators often avoid controversial opinions, entirely because backlash, clipping culture, and advertiser concerns make authenticity risky on modern livestream platforms. Some users even said Asmon perfectly described what they already disliked about Twitch culture for years: overly curated personalities, fake positivity, and creators constantly trying to maintain socially approved opinions instead of being genuine. That's why comments defending him started spreading quickly. A lot of viewers argued authenticity has slowly become harder to maintain on Twitch because the platform environment itself rewards creators who stay polished, non-confrontational, and brand safe. But on the other side, critics thought the rant came across extremely bitter. Some users accused Asmongold of lashing out because Twitch culture has evolved away from the type of environment he originally grew popular in years ago. As the controversy surrounding Mizkif continues dominating online discussions, old clips from years ago are now getting resurfaced by the internet and viewed in a completely different light. A viral post begins spreading across Twitter claiming Mizkif predicted his own downfall years ago. After viewers rediscovered an older conversation where he talks about how fragile internet reputations really are, Mizkif reacts in the following.
You know, it's just not worth it, because it takes one girl that possibly says something that, like, or like one incident that went wrong, or just like different stories, and my whole career is. It takes one girl to just say, hey, this happened and this is my way of saying it. It doesn't even matter if she's right or wrong. My reputation will be tarnished forever. The only sponsors I'm gonna get are exclamation point stake, and I'll be ruined. Like,
it's not important. It's fine.
In recent news, the fallout surrounding the D4vd case continued spreading across the internet, and now the conversation has started pulling in creators who previously interacted or collaborated with him before the allegations became public. As the case keeps making headlines, more people online begin revisiting old clips, collaborations, music videos, and friendships connected to D4vd. One of the creators suddenly placed under a spotlight is Pokimane. Viewers begin resurfacing old collaborations involving her and D4vd, including appearances together in content and his What Are You Waiting For music video alongside Jason the Ween. As the headlines surrounding the case continue escalating, Pokimane eventually decides to speak about it publicly on stream, sharing in the following.
Dissecting his videos and lyrics and all this stuff. And since he had me in one of his music videos, I was like, does that mean anything? And, you know, like, just, it was really kind of getting to me. So that, and to be honest, a lot of these things I'm not really sure how to talk about on stream. Andrew, thank you for subbing. I've developed a bit of a fear of talking about stuff.
A lot of viewers say her reaction felt genuine and understandable, considering the circumstances. They argue that realizing someone who was once welcomed into your home is now facing allegations this disturbing would naturally mess with someone mentally. Another side of the internet argues that influencers connected to D4vd should be focusing more directly on the victim rather than discussing their own emotional reactions. Some commenters accuse creators of trying to protect their image or manage optics now that the controversy has exploded publicly. Others become even more aggressive, accusing Pokimane and Jason the Ween of staying associated with D4vd for too long, or not distancing themselves quickly enough after the first wave of controversy originally surfaced. Then the speculation starts escalating even further. Certain comments begin making assumptions about what creators must have known behind the scenes, despite having no public evidence for those claims. Other viewers push back against that entirely, saying the internet is turning speculation into accusations without proof and creating narratives based purely on hindsight. In other news, the situation immediately started trending across social media because Sneako has spent months publicly pushing for another chance to come back to Twitch, repeatedly arguing that the platform applies its rules inconsistently, depending on the creator involved. During the stream, Sneako opens up Twitch's appeals page live in front of viewers before discovering that the appeal status had been denied. Almost instantly, frustration starts pouring out as he questions what specific content or behavior Twitch still considers bannable enough to keep him permanently suspended. That's when the rant begins escalating. Sneako starts comparing his own ban to controversies involving other creators and streamers he believes were treated differently by the platform. He references incidents involving misconduct accusations, controversial creators remaining on Twitch, and viral platform-wide debates that have dominated streaming discussions over the past year. According to Sneako, the biggest issue isn't just the rejection itself, it's the lack of transparency behind it. He argues Twitch never clearly explains what exact statements, clips, or behavior continue preventing him from returning. Instead, he claims the platform simply labels his content as hateful conduct without giving detailed clarification about what specifically crossed the line. Some viewers sided heavily with Sneako, arguing Twitch continues struggling with consistency when it comes to enforcement. These users pointed toward creators they believe have made equally controversial statements or been involved in major scandals while still remaining active on the platform. Others focused entirely on the lack of explanation behind the rejection. A common criticism online was that Twitch should at least provide creators with clearer reasoning, timestamps, or examples when denying appeals instead of relying on broad labels like hateful conduct. That's where a lot of the frustration online started building, because for many people watching, the rejection itself wasn't surprising. But the absence of detailed communication became the real talking point afterward. At the same time, though, plenty of users completely disagreed with Sneako's framing. Critics argued Twitch likely views his overall history, rhetoric, and repeated controversies as enough justification to keep the ban permanent, regardless of whether one specific clip triggered the rejection. Some users also pushed back against comparisons to Hassan and other creators, saying the situations aren't remotely equivalent, despite social media constantly trying to frame them that way. Emily crashes out after waiting 3 hours to practice with Summit 1G.
This Summit guy needs to be investigated. Is he an op? Does he have like a deal with another team to split the prize money after the other team wins? What the fuck is happening? I think we've waited a total of maybe 3 hours for him at this point. My God!
It's actually pretty messed up how much he has ditched his team yesterday. His computer crashed and wasn't able to practice. Today they kept waiting for him, and he was just going on Rust to test his audio, then never came. What's the point of joining a tournament where you're supposed to collaborate and practice with other people, just to go in Rust? Yeah, Summit has been weird vibes this tourney. The issue isn't just that he isn't practicing, he doesn't even communicate with the group until the day of the tournament. He admitted he reads the group chat, so he's just straight up ignoring them. Yeah, IDK what T1 was thinking when he chose Summit. Don't get me wrong, I love Summit, the OG, but he never takes tournaments seriously when he's already locked in on something he's main gaming already. He's done this in almost every tournament, and then gets mad that people call him out on it LOL. Rinse and repeat, he'll show up for CS though. Trainwreck goes on a rant about streamers view botting. If you can't turn a $4 million company into a $100 million company while streaming 20 hours a day with 30,000 viewers, your views are botted.
Dino's top game was that game. That's what real viewership does. That's what being a 30K or 20K or 15K viewer streamer is. You move weight. Do you understand? You move weight. There's clear, objective stats. Back up your view count. All these streamers today that are pulling 40K viewers and they can't turn a indie company into the next $1 billion company or $100 million company, they're view botting. It's really that simple. At 40K viewers streaming 20 hours a day, you are moving millions of people to maintain that viewership. If you can't turn a company making $4 or $5 million into a $100 million company after a year of streaming 15 hours a day, you're view botting. It's really that simple. So like I said, some of you guys can say what you want, but all my backed. It's backed by my paycheck, backed by what I get paid. My graphs are backed perfectly.
On Reddit especially, one of the most viral responses came from users saying Train is the type of guy who sounds convincing until he talks about a topic you actually understand. That comment alone started getting heavily upvoted because a lot of people felt the rant relied more on dramatic assumptions than hard proof. Another major criticism focused on Train himself. Some viewers pointed out that despite constantly talking about platform issues, business and streaming ethics, he's still mainly known for gambling streams and controversy. Those users argued they simply can't take industry analysis seriously from somebody they see as contributing to the same culture problems he criticizes. Rob bets his girlfriend's money.
Okay. 17. Sanity killer.
Did we lose that? How?
Rest in peace!